This is Driven By, a podcast where we explore the intersection between passion and purpose, sitting down and having conversations with risk takers, change makers, builders, and entrepreneurs to find out what it is that drives them.
Hi, I'm Hamilton Johnson. I am chef at Mallard, and I'm from South Carolina, and here to hang out.
Yeah, amazing. I can't believe we're inside your restaurant right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This has been a little bit of a long time coming, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But I like to tell people how I know the person that I'm either sitting across from or talking to, and it's kind of funny. You're not a non-recognizable person. You're fairly recognizable. We worked out in the same gym for a really long time on U Street, and I remember being like, this guy looks very interesting. And then I saw you were kind of doing little pop-ups here and there. You were in the food scene. Somebody had told me about you. I was like, okay, well, let's watch, see what happens.
Yeah.
And here we are now, sitting inside your restaurant in 14th Street in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, right in the heart of it.
Yeah. So how did we get here?
Oh, man. So I met you at F45. I was doing that for, I don't know, a year or so.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went in CrossFit, drank that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And then just I've been working in restaurants through DC for a long time. I moved to DC in 2008 to work at Vidalia, which is now closed.
Yeah.
And from there, I've worked at a few other restaurants. Then kind of the pandemic happened. And then basically I worked at Gravitas most recently for about a year under Chef Matt, and kind of decided, I need to do something on my own. I lost my father a couple years ago, and he's kind of the inspiration for Mallard. He carved decoys for a long time. So it's kind of like he loved to have dinner parties and cook for people. So I kind of grew up cooking, and it's like, what better way to honor him than Mallard?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty incredible. For people that don't know, Vidalia was like a DC staple, like white tablecloth, very different from the environment that we're sitting in right now. And DC sort of just gone through that transition when you think about the food and beverage industry here. Gravitas, familiar place, similar in some way of creating an environment where people can come together. This is so unique to you, though, and the story that you just shared about your dad.
Right.
I have to imagine it's also kind of an emotional experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's definitely emotional when I first opened, but it's been so busy that it's kind of sometimes it's hard it's easy to not stop and kind of get soaked in with everything.
Sure.
So just staying busy, but there's some days where I'm here by myself or something, and it's kind of looking around and different pictures. It's my father there as a kid. So it hits hard, but in a good way.
Right.
Sometimes, because I feel like he'd be super proud.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the restaurant. Obviously inspired by your dad.
Right.
The food and so forth.
Sure.
Inspired by your upbringing.
Yeah, just growing up in the South and just taking things I ate as a kid and things that are familiar in the South, I guess, and then refining them and making them approachable, familiar. We do pimento cheese. Everybody has pimento cheese.
Love pimento cheese.
But it's something that's so simple that it's got to be done really well. Yeah. We serve it with, Ritz crackers and spiced pecans, very, very traditional. But we take some things and just, highlight it like duck, so we have Mallard. So we have a half roasted duck with chicken fried duck leg that we confit first, and we fry it. And we serve that with spice breast and summer squash and turnips. And then we have, foie gras. I feel like you have to have foie gras at Mallard. So we'll always have foie gras on the menu and some kind of preparation with the season. We have right now we have a fried catfish sandwich because we're doing food for upstairs as well. So we have church key above us. So we kind of took the bar menu and gave it a little Southern elevation to it, I guess if you could say.
Right.
But it's been great so far.
Okay.
I can't complain. Maybe it could use a little more sleep, but
Yeah, I would imagine going from working in restaurants for a really long time to now running your own. Sleep's not something that you normally get anyway, but this has got to be kind of a completely different level for you.
Yeah, for sure. And then try to get up early to work out and try to keep mentally healthy and physically healthy as well.
So maybe taking a few steps back, if you look back at the little version of you, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oh man, I love to draw and paint. So I was going to go to art school in Savannah. That was kind of the plan, but I always helped my parents cook. So helping my mom was more of a experimentalist, I guess you could say. She would get recipes out of the newspaper and try things. My dad was more traditional biscuits and gravy, which is great, you know?
Mess that up
So,
too,
oh yeah, people can mess everything up. So kind of having both of those views, I guess, kind of helped meld me to help them cook a lot more. And then I decided to change from art. I wanted to be a comic book
artist.
Artist. And then so I decided to do cook and went to culinary school. And I think, you know, culinary school it's art.
It is.
You know, so it's just a different medium, and being able to have that creative outlet is very important for me.
Yeah.
Whether it's putting something together on a plate and making it look nice and appetizing.
100%. 100%. A lot of people could have looked at losing a parent as like a moment where they kind of take a step back and maybe don't push forward with the things that they love or the things that, you know, drew them to that individual before. You decided to create a space in memory of him. I wonder, what was that experience like?
Yeah, it was tough. It was like, well, at first, you know, I took some time off when he passed away. So, you know, I took some time off and I was like, you know, I need to take better care of myself and mentally and physically. And I think in this business, it's hard to get distracted by vices, if that makes sense. So I took some time off and then, you know, took care of some stuff back home with him, with his stuff that had to be done.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, going through like my old house and like just seeing things, and a lot of these things are on the wall here, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just, it grew and grew. And I was like, well, I can do this. I know how to cook. I don't know about everything else, you know, but we're figuring it out as we go, and it's going really well. So
that's amazing. We are a month?
4 weeks.
4 weeks in. What has been the best part of the experience so far, and what has been the most challenging?
I think just seeing people happy with the food. And that's super important to me. It's just seeing people's reaction when they take their first bite and they're like, that's it. It's like, all right, next table. Like, you know, I just want to, you know, just seeing people just happy and having a good time. And then that's just what's important to me.
And biggest challenge?
Oh man. Knowing that not everyone's going to be happy.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But even though you want it so bad, some people, you know, sometimes people aren't going to like something, and, you know, and it's our job to, you know, try to fix that or give them something they do like, and it's not a personal thing. And sometimes that's tough for people. Like, it's tough for me sometimes. So.
Right. Well, you've been working in the DC food scene for a long time. I think it's an interesting food scene, right? South Carolina has an amazing food scene. You know, you look at New York, some of these other places that are known for food. I think sometimes people overlook DC. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Situation here.
I think maybe it's because it's so small. I don't know.
Politics, all that good stuff. Being a part of this scene and having kind of gone through the white tablecloth to where you are now, I'm sure that road has been one that has been bumpy. Maybe you've questioned it, all that good stuff. What about that experience for you from where you started?
I feel like I've done it all, like not done it all, but done all the styles, I guess, where it's, you know, fast paced and fine dining and tablecloth. And I think I mean, for me, I've done that. And like now it's like, I just want it to be just great food and comfortable and a fun atmosphere. And I think everybody has their own wants and desires. So it doesn't mean something else is better than this is better than white tablecloth or whatever. But I think it kind of just has to do with whoever, like what you want out of it. And I just want people to come in and eat. And I want to be busy, and I want to show people what the Southern food is all about in a more playful approach. That makes sense?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you feel like this is the trend that we are moving towards, more spaces like this versus the white tablecloth?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. What do you attribute to that?
It's a clock. That's an old grandfather clock. That's the clock from my home. I don't know, maybe I think the pandemic just destroyed a lot of things.
Yeah.
But, you know, being able to bounce back from that, which I think a lot of people have, and just whether people want to spend money. And I think with Mallard is like, we're super approachable price wise and food wise. And I think, you know, perception is, I think what you get what you pay for and more. And I think people are really looking for for that perception value.
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe not leaving hungry. You know, I mean, sometimes that's a thing.
That sometimes happens when you go to some of these restaurants where you get
Yeah,
little
for sure.
treats, you leave hungry, and then you're ordering like Taco Bell on the way home.
Yeah, Taco Bell. Gosh. You know, like I said, whatever you're into, you know.
So what's your favorite thing on the menu right now? What's your favorite drink to sip on the menu right now?
Favorite thing on the menu right now is probably the half duck.
Okay.
It's so good. It's super rich. It's super delicious, and it's probably going to stay on the menu for a while. And that's as far as entree or, you know, savory. That's my favorite. The dessert, we have a coffee and cigarettes. So we take, you know, coffee and cigarettes, make a tobacco caramel with like espresso ice cream, chocolate mousse, and like smoked olive oil. And we serve it in a little ashtray, like a little glass ashtray. And as far as drinks, I'm sober.
Yeah.
I'll be 2 weeks, I'll be 1 year sober.
Okay.
Yeah. So I drink a lot of mocktails and NA beers to try to look cool.
Well, but mocktails and soda
They're delicious.
is like
Yeah.
very, very big right now, right? And as somebody that's in the, you know, hospitality, food and beverage space, how did you think about that when you kind of started?
Yeah, I think it's important. And we sell a lot of
Building out your bar.
Yeah, we like a lot of like lemonades, like non-alcoholic lemonades, which with like the, I don't know, like the fake, not fake, but the NA bourbons and NA rums and stuff like that. It's fun. And, you know, I like to go out and sit at a bar and have like a NA cocktail. And like, I just, you know, being sober, I miss the social aspect. And I miss like, I don't know, just the look of it, I guess. I don't know. If you're sitting there drinking a martini and you feel special or feel good about yourself or whatever. So being able to still be able to do that, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think it's a really interesting trend that you see a lot of people moving towards sober curiosity. Obviously, everyone makes a different choice for the reason they're, you know, deciding to be sober. I know after my dad died, it was important for me to kind of cut out certain things because it was hard emotionally and all that good stuff.
Alcohol didn't help.
Alcohol doesn't help.
Didn't help me.
Doesn't help.
I kind of went down a little slippery slope. So
Likewise. And so I think being able to like create a space where other people that are, you know, also either sober curious or sober, where they can feel like they're still enjoying their meal and still having a night out and getting to enjoy a 0 proof or NA cocktail.
Right.
You know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So good.
yeah, it's cool. It's fun. And, you know, we have fall changes coming up next week, drinks, food and stuff like that. So that's exciting.
Menu changes.
Yeah. I love fall.
Okay.
Wait for it.
Okay. What can people look forward to?
We're going to do, we're working on some dishes this week, and, you know, Friday we're going to do some changes. We're going to do a scallop with scrapple. You know, scrapple's kind of, that's a little Southern. We're looking for do like a creme brulee and pecan pie kind of thing.
Okay.
We'll collab, just like layered and stuff like that. But, you know, everything in season.
Right.
You know, and familiar, and we're super excited.
That's amazing. When you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, I'm going to go do the thing.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that drives you?
So I was thinking about that, and I think for me it's changed, and it goes through different elements. I think as I've gotten older and as I've gone through my career, that's changed a lot. It's changed a few times. I mean, in my early, you know, I wanted to make my parents proud, my dad proud. That was like, don't fuck this up. Don't, you know, like, let's, you know. And then I think as I've, you know, progressed from that, it was like, I want to be not famous, but I want to be, you know, it did seem like it was more about the food. And now where I'm at now, and it's like, it's all about the food, and I want people to be happy, and I want people to love it, and I want people to come back again and again and again and again. And then, you know, and the fear of failing is always in the back. I think that's in the back of everybody's mind, you know, whether you're running a race or opening a restaurant or painting something. I don't know. It's like that's always drive me. But I think it's just knowing that I come in and like people are eating, and I come out and like people are smiling, and it's busy, and they love the food, and just seeing that on people's faces, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's amazing. I know, again, this is like 1 month in, you've talked about some things that have like been amazing for you. You've talked about some of the things that have been hard for you just in your career. Literally the biggest challenge you've had to overcome in life.
Oh man. Losing my dad, yeah. I mean, I lost my mom as well when I was 22, like 20 years ago, 21 years ago. I'm getting old. That was tough. Obviously, you know, I was kind of a mama's boy. And then losing her, and then me and my dad weren't super close when I was a kid. We were close, but it wasn't like that, I guess, fairy tale father-son relationship. But we got really close after my mom passed.
Sure.
And I think losing him was tough. That's probably the biggest, hardest thing. And what better way to keep his legacy going than have this?
Yeah, this is an amazing memorial to him. And
yeah.
As somebody that was able to eat at the pop-up, although I still need to get into this space and dine in, I was so floored by the flavors and the way that you took like food that is, you know, meant to be like comfort food and made it so approachable and made it so delicious. So I'm like super excited for you and all that you've kind of created here. If you were to give a person one like bit of advice, what would be that one thing that you would kind of leave them with?
Keep your head down and just push. Just work hard. I think good things happen when you do the right things, you know, and it might not happen overnight. It might not happen immediately, but you treat people the right way and you put everything you have into something and believe in what you're doing. And then something good has to happen out of it. That's what keeps driving you.
Yeah.
So
I love that. So if people want to learn more about you, where can they find you? If people want to learn more about the restaurant, where can they find it? Oh,
so my Instagram is hambone_Goonies and then Mallard DC on Instagram. But you can find me here 6 days a week. You know, we're closed on Mondays, but other than that, we're rocking and rolling. So.
And everyone should come in and get the duck, apparently.
Yes, the duck, pimento cheese. I mean, everything. Yeah. You know, we have a banana pudding dessert. It's really fun.
Right.
But yeah.
What are some of the like top line goals that you have for the restaurant in year one?
Stay open. No, just to be relevant and be just with the DC culinary family, you know, just be busy and people love it and be ever evolving and doing just fun Southern food that people are going to come back 100 times for. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, cheering you on.
Thank you.
Obviously staying open, not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I know. I'm just being.
Yeah. Because I imagine taking all the stuff off the walls will take some time.
Yeah, for sure.
This is such a beautiful space. And so thank you for obviously welcoming me in and having the conversation. I'm excited to see what happens with the restaurant.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you heard, give us a follow on Instagram, drivenby_blank. Share it with your friends. Pass along the good word. And for the love of God, continue to acknowledge your passions. Let love be your guide and always walk in purpose. Until next time, I'm Karen, and this has been a conversation about the intersection between passion and purpose.